Hey guys, welcome back to the Mets franchise. We finally made it back to the NLCS as we swept the Cardinals in the last video. If you missed that, sorry to spoil it for you. But we're moving on to the NLCS against the 1 seed Arizona Diamondbacks. And we'll take a look at their roster. It's a lot better than the Cardinals roster. It's much more comparable to ours. I still think ours might be a little bit better, but the Diamondbacks have some high overalls. As you can see, we're making our way through the list and we're still at the 86s. They have a really good team. They have a good pitching staff. They have a good lineup. This is not going to be an easy series. I'll be very surprised if we can get the sweep. Now, before we get into the gameplay, which we're going to show the intro right here, I just want to let you guys know that I am going away. So next week, I already have some, this week that you're watching this video, I will be on vacation. So you're not going to see another episode this week. I apologize. But I promise, as soon as I get back on the weekend, I'll get right back to work and get the videos out as fast as I can. So I do want to apologize, but I know you guys understand. I am busy, vacationing with my family. So got to do that as well. Me and the wife getting out of the house for a change. Anyway, let's get into the NLCS. We're going up against Zach Gallen in game number 1. Don't know if those stats are accurate because remember, there's been a problem with the stats in this one. For example, this is showing Corbin Burns' regular season stats, which are correct, but he did pitch a game in the postseason that apparently didn't register. He didn't pitch great against the Cardinals, but he pitched okay. Anyway, leading off the bottom of the first, it's Nico Hoerner, and he finds the gap. So he goes from Cubs to Diamondbacks in this save, and he starts off with a double. Next batter, J.P. Crawford. He is going to ground this one to first. They're going to get the runner over to third. Diamondbacks have a runner on third with 1 out, and Bo Bichette coming to the plate. Corbin Burns gets him swinging. Nice cutter at the top of the zone. So 1 out away from getting out of a first inning jam. It's Corbin Carroll, though, and he is going to swing. He can't check on that slider down in the zone. Corbin Burns, proud of himself for getting out of that one. In the second inning, it's Christian Walker leading off. He strikes out swinging. So Corbin Burns starting to settle down a little bit, starting to feel it. Emilio Zamora goes down looking. Nice inside front door cutter from Corbin Burns. And Jack Suwinski's up next. He goes down swinging. Corbin Burns strikes out the side in order in the third. He's starting to heat up. When he gets going early, he usually pitches good. Corbin Burns has been rock for us. Hopefully, he can keep that going. In the third, we get a leadoff guy on for a change. Francisco Alvarez hits a base hit up the middle. Next up, Teoscar Hernandez, 3-1 count. That ball's way up there. It's ball 4. So we got first and second. Nobody out here in the third for Ramon Urias, one of our best hitters all season and in the playoffs and the NLDS he was raking. But here he'll fly out to shallow left. The runners will have to stay put. Next up, Brandon Nimmo. He's also going to fly out. This one drifting into foul territory. But the left fielder is going to run over and make the play. Runner's stranded again. So Kyle Tucker, last chance here in the third, and he's going to line one to left. But Corbin Carroll, the speedster, on the run and makes that play easy. And that ends the top half of the third. Bottom half of the third, it is Seiya Suzuki finding the right center field gap. Splits the outfielders. It's a leadoff double. Another leadoff double for Arizona here in game 1. See if they could score this time. They get the runner over to third for Nico Hoerner, and Nico Hoerner, he hits one deep in the right field, going back to Luis Robert and Kyle Tucker. They'll look up and watch it hit the wall, and it's another double for Nico Hoerner already, a second double of the game. 1-0 Arizona. They would get him over to third as well, and Bo Bichette would come through with 2 outs as he finds the gap. It's the third double of the inning for Arizona as they've just been splitting the gap. 4th double overall. And Corbin Burns, even though he's had his strikeout stuff, he's definitely looked better. Corbin Carroll luckily gets it, goes down swinging, I should say, and that ends the threat. But it's an early 2-0 Diamondback lead. In the 4th, Francisco Lindor, he finds the left field line. That goes under the glove of Corbin Carroll and goes all the way to the wall. It's going to be a 1-out double for Francisco Lindor. Probably would have been on second regardless, but Carroll missing that ball definitely helped us out. Now we get our runner over to third, so we have a runner on third, 2 out. Luis Robert draws a walk, first and third, 2 out, and tying run at first, but Francisco Alvarez hits one into fairly deep left, but it's a can of corn for Corbin Carroll out there, and that ends the threat in the top half of the fourth. Bottom half of the fourth we go. Runner on for Seiya Suzuki. He lines one deep to left, way over Brandon Nimmo's head, and it's out of here. Clears the wall. 2-run shot from Seiya Suzuki. His second extra base hit of the game. He doubled, and now he homered. And it's a 4-0 Arizona lead here in the fourth. We'll go ahead, top of the fifth. We have a runner on, 1 out for Brandon Nimmo. See if he can come through this postseason. He missed a couple games in the NLDS, but he's starting to heat back up again. That's a base hit. He's usually clutch in the playoffs, so we need him to be clutch if we're going to win this tough series. Kyle Tucker up next, hits one to third. This should be a double play to get him out of it, but the third baseman throws the ball away, and what should have been the inning-ending double play now is a bases loaded 1-out jam for Arizona, and the tying run coming to the plate. And that tying run is the MVP, Pete Alonso, but he's not going to homer this time. He's going to fly into fairly deep center field. Both runners on second and third will tag, so it's an RBI sac fly for Pete Alonso, and we steal a run here. Next up, Francisco Alvarez. He's going to fly out to center, but we do end the fifth with a run. We got lucky to get that because of an error from the third baseman. So it's only a 3-run deficit for now. Bottom half of the fifth, we're leaving Corbin Burns in. It's Nico Horner. He gets drilled by a pitch, obviously not intentional. Corbin Burns is just starting to lose it a little bit. Leadoff hit by pitch is never good. J.P. Crawford up next. And now he's going to find the gap in the right center field. That's a base hit. Horner's got a lot of speed. He's rounding third. The relay throw from Urias is just not in time. And Nico Horner scores. He's killing us on the bases and at the plate. And it's 5-1 Arizona. That would be it for Corbin Burns. Seen enough. He did not have his best stuff. 5 earned in 4 and a third. But he would actually be accountable for that run on third. And Christian Walker, no doubt about this one. 2-run shot off Jordan Romano. And it's 7-1. Arizona's blown this game open. And that's 436 feet. No doubter for Walker. We're jumping ahead all the way to the seventh. It's still 7-1. We have a run on first for Brandon Nimmo. And there's playoff Nimmo coming to life, as that's what he does in the playoffs last couple years. He just hits homers, and he hits his first one of this postseason. Like we said, he was hurt the first 2 games of that Cardinals series, so this is really only his second game. And Brandon Nimmo hits a 2-run shot, but we're still down by 4. It's 7-3. Still in the seventh. Pete Alonso up with the runner on first. This should be a double play. And look at this. The third baseman again throws it away. This time it's over the second baseman's head. And Kyle Tucker, who was on first, he goes first to third. So 1 out, first and third for Francisco Lindor. He's going to come through with a nice base hit in the left field. It's 7-4 now. It's only a 3-run game. And we've got the tying run to bat here in the 7th inning. The next guy would get out, but it's Luis Robert, and the 2-1 count is hit deep to center field. Center fielder going back. He's right in front of the wall and makes the play. Luis Robert just missed a game-tying 3-run shot. We're going all the way to the 9th, down 3, down to our last 3 outs here in game 1. Pete Alonso's going to lead things off, finding the hole in the outfield as that one's down the right field line. 1 hops the wall to lead off double. That run doesn't really mean much, but always good to have your leadoff guy in scoring position in the 9th. Francisco Lindor up next. He puts a charge in a one, but it just wasn't hit too much on the line, so that's going to be right at the center fielder. Pete Alonso will stay at second. 1 out in the 9th for Brett Beatty. He's going to hit one through the infield for a base hit. Not sending Pete Alonso, especially not with 1 out, and not when that run doesn't really matter, so he'll hold there. Luis Robert, the tying run yet again, 3-2 count. He takes it, ball 4. So we've now have the tying run on base. We have the winning run at the plate, or the go-ahead run, I should say, with the away team. But Francisco Alvarez takes strike 3, bottom of the zone. It was a good pitch. You don't see a lot of fastballs in the bottom of the zone. Thought it was going to be off speed. Next up, it's Teoscar Hernandez. Hits one hard, but right at the second baseman. And this one is over. We had our chance in the 9th inning. Had the tying run on base, the go-ahead run at the plate, and we couldn't come through. Arizona takes a 1-0 series lead as we'll go ahead and go to game 2. Michael Kopech on the mound. He's on Arizona in this one. Looks like he pitched pretty decently in his first playoff game, if that is accurate. We know Julio Urias pitched really good against the Cardinals, so he'll look to have another good postseason performance in this one as he's been better. We're jumping ahead all the way to the 4th inning. That's our first highlight in this one, as a beautiful diving play by the second baseman. We can't make a double play, but there's a runner on second, 1 out for Pete Alonso, and Pete Alonso crushes that hanging curveball way out of here. That ball was always getting jacked as that curveball, top of the zone, that always ends up in the seats. This is the Major League Baseball. This is playoff baseball. You cannot throw that pitch and expect to live another day, as Pete Alonso gets us on the board early, 2-0 in the fourth. Still in the fourth. Next batter, actually, Francisco Lindor draws a walk. And that leads Brett Baty up to the plate. 3-1 count. He lines one in a deep left field. Corbin Carroll's going back. Is he going to be able to make this play? He's not. It's gone. It clears the wall. An opposite field home run for Brett Baty. Second of the postseason. That one just got out of here. I did not think that was gone off the bat. Had a lot of carry to it the opposite way. It's 4-0 in the fourth. New York making a statement here in game two. We can't go down 2-0. And we're off to a good start so far. In the fourth, Diamondbacks would get their first rally. Corbin Carroll, ground rule double, but Julio Urias will get Gabriel Moreno to strike out. Next batter, Emilio Zamora, and he will go base hit up the middle. Corbin Carroll will score easily with that 99 speed. So 4-1 as Arizona gets one back in the bottom of the fourth. Urias would get Westberg to strike out. So that ends the fourth. Mets still up 4-1. Diamondbacks get one back, though. In the fifth, nobody on, one out for Kyle Tucker, and Kyle Tucker rips one down the left field line. It just stays fair. It's going to be a one-out double for New York. That was against Ken Waldichuk. Here in the fifth inning, we get our runner over to third, of course, and Francisco Alvarez is going to come through, hit one up the middle, past the diving Bo Bichette, and it's another run for New York. 5-1 in the fifth, as we're looking good so far. Urias still on the mound in the bottom of the fifth. Gets Nico Horner down swinging, so we finally slow him down a bit. So through 5, he's going to try to get through 6. Corbin Carroll, he goes down swinging as well. As Urias is just kind of cruising along in this one. We're trying to push him to get him through 7. He has a strikeout for Westerberg, so he's 1 out away from getting through 7 innings. You see, that was his 11th K. Another runner got on, 3-2 count, strikes out Christian Walker on a high changeup, and that would be the night for Julio Urias. 7 innings, 12 Ks, 6 hits, and 1 earned. He was brilliant yet again. He's earning that money, and that's really how this one would end. Nothing much would happen. So 5-1 victory for New York. In this one, we scored our runs pretty early. Julio Urias shut them down. He was brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and we have tied this series at 1, and we're headed back to New York. So back to New York we go. We technically now have the home field advantage. If we can win all 3 of these games, we will cruise into the World Series and clinch it at home. But we have to win all 3. It starts now. This game is actually bigger than you would think, even though it would only be 2-1. But if we lose this one, the next game is pretty much a must-win. So, you know, this game's pretty important as it's Logan Gilbert versus Brandon Woodruff. Look at those numbers, 19-2. My goodness. 2.76 ERA, and Gilbert hasn't been great this season, so hopefully he can have a good postseason performance. He pitched great in the postseason last year, so we'll see what he can do. In the second inning we go, leadoff base hit for Francisco Lindor. Next up, Brett Baty. That's a base hit up the middle, so here's our first rally of game number 3. We got first and second, nobody out in the bottom of the second inning for Luis Robert. 3-2 count on him. He hits one right to first base. Walker goes to Bichette for 1. Back to first, over to Woodruff covering for the double play. Our runner's on third now with 2 outs, and Francisco Alvarez has a nice eye and draws a walk. Next up, Teoscar Hernandez. Hasn't done much this postseason, but he does a lot with that pitch. That fastball was right down the pipe, and it's crushed from Teoscar Hernandez. 3-run home run. First of the postseason. His power numbers have been kind of disappointing. He hit 19 in the regular season, but he had like 16 at the All-Star break, then went MIA. Don't know what happened, but we like Teoscar now. Home runs, though, were not short to come by in this game because J.P. Crawford hits one deep to dead center field. Shortstop showing some power, although I think he plays, I don't know where he plays in this team. So I think Nico Horner plays second, and the other guy plays third. Maybe he plays center? No, I don't know. Anyway, home run, doesn't matter. And another home run, Emilio Zamora. Whoa, way deep into the second deck. What a missile. That ball was absolutely crushed. A laser into the second deck. 111.8 off the bat. And just like this is a disastrous fourth inning. That 3-0 lead has washed away like that. It's 3-3. Going into the 5th, Nico Hoerner killing us still. That one's down the right field line. It's going to be a 2-out double. Logan Gilbert was trying to get out of this 5th inning, and so far he's in trouble. We left him in for one more batter, J.P. Crawford, who already got to him once, and he gets to him again. We made a mistake. Should have took Gilbert out of there. J.P. Crawford with his 2nd home run of the game. That one's a no-doubter in the Mets bullpen, 408 feet. And Gilbert's not happy. He did not have a good outing. He really has not had a good season, unfortunately for him. The Diamondbacks had 2 on in the 6th, but Loaisiga gets out of it. In the 7th inning, it's Nico Hoerner again, who's going to make us pay. That's a line drive deep in the left. Nimmo looks up, and it is gone. Nico Hoerner is just demolishing us this series. That's a line drive home run to left, and it is now 6-3. Arizona take the lead. They would end up scoring another run, and we just could not do a thing after our early 3-run shot from Tasker Hernandez. We just didn't even get really a rally going after that. Diamondbacks win again, and they take a 2-1 series lead as we'll go into game number 4. It's going to be the last game of this episode. Kodai Senga on the mound for us. This is pretty much a must-win. If we go down 3-1 against this Diamondbacks team, we are in trouble. Brandon Pfaadt on the mound for Arizona. So, like I said, I'm treating this as a must-win. If we go down 3-1 Arizona, we are in deep, deep trouble. In the 1st inning, it's Kyle Tucker, and Kyle Tucker smashes one to right. That's the way you start off a must-win game. It's not technically a must-win game, but like I said, we labeled it as a must-win game, and this is how we respond. 1st inning, no doubter from Kyle Tucker, 2nd of the postseason. I'm sure that's accurate. I'm pretty sure that is. And it's a nice solo shot. We're going to the 3rd. Kodai Senga against who else? Nico Hoerner going deep again, deep to center field. Luis Robert going back. He's trying to time this up, but he has no chance. And this game is tied at 1. Nico Hoerner to dead center this time. I'll tell you what, we're only 4 games in, but if Arizona does win this series, Nico Hoerner definitely is going to win the NLCS MVP. He is just crushing us. A lot of these guys are. Corbin Carroll's going to find the gap here. There was a runner on first. He's going first to home. The relay throw from Urias is not nearly going to be in time. Arizona takes the lead. Bo Bichette scores 2-1. They would get that runner over to 3rd, and Senga would get out of it in the 4th. But Arizona leads in the 4th, 2-1. In the 5th, it is Seiya Suzuki, another guy killing us. That one's down the left field line. Nimmo gets it in, but Seiya Suzuki's going to be in there with a leadoff double. Terrible throw from Nimmo. What else is new? Next batter, Gabby Moreno hits one down the 3rd base line past the diving Brett Beatty. Run's going to score easily. We know this story already. Brandon Nimmo's never throwing anybody out. 3-1 Arizona in the 5th. 1st, 2nd, 2 out for Nimmo. But he's going to fly this one lazy in the center. We're running out of time here. After the end of 5, Arizona up 3-1. Bottom half of the 6th, 2 out, nobody on. We got nothing going right now, but Francisco Lindor is going to chop one through the hole in the left side of the infield for a base hit. So runner on 1st, 2 out for Brett Beatty. 3-2 count. Runner will be going on the pitch, and that one's hit deep into the gap left center field. That ball is off the top of the wall. Francisco Lindor rounds 3rd. He should score easily. The relay throw is just not in time. Wow, that was close. I actually don't think the runner was going on that 3-2 count. He should have been, but I think maybe that was an oversight on my part. I don't think I sent him, so it should have been an easy run. Just we sneak one out. Anyway, 3-2. We're into the 8th inning now. It's getting close. We're only 5 outs away from being down 3 games to 1. It's a base hit from Pete Alonso, though. Next up is Francisco Lindor, and Lindor's going to find the gap. He stays hot. This one in the right center field. It's going all the way to the wall. Pete Alonso doesn't have speed, but that ball's placed beautifully in the gap, and he's going to score without a throw. This game is tied in the 8th inning. We have come back to tie it here in the bottom of the 8th. Runner on 2nd, 1 out. Can we get the go-ahead run home? Brett Beatty's going to slowly chop one to short. Bo Bichette charges, he fields, fires, and gets Brett Beatty at 1st. 2 out now. Luis Robert. That's a base hit up the middle. A clutch base hit from Luis Robert. Rounding 3rd, scoring easily is Lindor, and the Mets have taken the lead with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. We've come all the way back. It wasn't a big deficit, but it was much, much needed. Edwin Diaz on for the save. We're only up by 1. That's Corbin Carroll. He grounds to 2nd. Urias puts him away. 1 away. Christian Walker up next. The scary lineup for the Diamondbacks, but he grounds to third. Brett Beatty's there. He throws across the diamond, and we're 1 out away from tying this series up. It's Emilio Zamora, already homered today, but he strikes out swinging 101 high in the zone. And the Mets have tied this series at 2. Clutch win there. Clutch hitting from Luis Robert and Francisco Lindor there in the 8th inning. And we've tied the series at 2. Sorry, it's only part 1, but like I said, I'm going on vacation. I will get this part 2 out and the end of the NLCS next week. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did. I'll see you in the next one.